So what we're doing today is continuing our Thanksgiving dishes series. Now, what's Thanksgiving without a turkey? And they do call it Turkey Day for a reason. So what we've got is about a 12.5 pound bird today, and we're gonna do something very special with that. This is one of our fringe dishes, so you could say. This one here is going to end up being Nashville Hot Turkey. And what we're going to do with it is we're going to brine it, and then we're going to spatchcock it, which cuts down on its cooking time and helps it cook a little bit more evenly. So we're also going to have a video of a typical classic oven roasted turkey. But this one is going to be a fun one. This is what Tucker's Pepper Company is all about, the Nashville Hot Turkey. Let's go for it. All right, so with our 12.5 pound bird, I've already cleaned out its cavity, and we did leave the little thing that trusses the legs together. We're gonna do some more work to it later, but this will be fine for brining. So what we're gonna do, we wanna brine this turkey with 2 quarts of water to every 1 cup of kosher salt. Now, if you were to use regular salt, you'd use probably about half of that, and do about 2 quarts of water to 1/2 cup of regular table salt, iodinized salt, whatever. In this case, we are actually going to be using the kosher salt, because I like that a lot better. So for our brine, we're going to want to cover the turkey with water and then get him back in the refrigerator for about an hour and a half or so. That's going to allow the salt and water to kind of absorb into the bird here. What a brine actually does is helps the bird retain moisture while it's cooking. So water alone would allow the turkey to be more moist. It would absorb that water, but the salt helps it retain the water. You can always do this in a stock pot as well. This one here is only a 12 quart Cambro, and so you should have a stock pot at your house that's at least that big. If you don't, you can go get one real cheap at your local everything kind of store. So now we're gonna go put this guy in the fridge for a little bit, let it do its magic. Now that we have been brining our turkey for at least an hour and a half, I think this one went a little bit longer, but that's not that bad. We still want to brine this overnight and make it too salty. We're gonna take it out of its brine and put it on a half-size baking sheet here. You should probably have one of those available to you. If not, they're not very expensive at your local buy everything kind of store. So we're gonna put this guy onto this cookie sheet, and then we're going to spatchcock him. When you're spatchcocking a chicken, what you want to do is you want to flip him on his breast side and have that down. So what we're going to want to do here is we want to cut his backbone out. We want to cut off his tail, and then get rid of any of this the trussing kind of plastic that comes in a lot of your commercially purchased birds. And once we do that, we'll be able to show you the rest of the steps. So we're going to start by cutting his tail off. What I like to call spatchcocking a chicken is when you've got to break the breastbone. And so you'll lay them out completely. And so lets them cook a lot more evenly, and it lets them cook a lot faster as well. So we're gonna be CPR certified by the end of this. But chickens are really easy to do, turkeys are a little bit harder. But we're gonna take all of our weight on our palm and put it right there. And you start hearing the break. We'll see if we can get him back to life. So now we have our turkey spatchcocked. What we want to do is we want to start seasoning it. So we've got about a stick and a half of butter here. It's been at room temperature the whole time this guy was brining. And we're going to be using Tucker's Nashville Hot Chicken seasoning for the turkey. And what we want to do here for starters is we want to get as much of this butter under the skin and on the skin as possible. We need to go ahead and season up this turkey. We're going to put a liberal amount on here. All right, we're going to put this in at 350 degrees for an hour, and then we're going to check the temperature. My guess is about an hour and a half when that guy's ready to go. Now our Nashville Hot Turkey has cooked for about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes, and got to an internal temperature somewhere around 155. We're able to pull that out of the oven, and we're going to want to let that rest for about 30 minutes before we start carving it. So now it's time to break this Nashville Hot Turkey down. There's a few things you need to know about carving this turkey. And so when you carve a turkey, you don't want to think about the classic movie style, I've got my carving fork and we're doing this. It's not just because it's spatchcocked, it's because it's a bird. So what we want to do is show you the proper way to carve a turkey and break it down in a way that is going to be the most efficient for the meal that you're planning. There's a few things that you're going to need when you're carving a turkey. One of them is going to be a very sharp knife. Now this one's shorter. This is a cook's knife. It's 6 inches long instead of 8. It still has the same proportions as your typical chef's knife. Then some kitchen shears. And so the kitchen shears are there to help us cut through any tendons that don't want to release once we're actually breaking this down. So now what we're going to do is show you the method of breaking down the turkey. And so what's important here is that there is an order to the way this goes. And so first thing we want to do is start with the thighs, then the wings, then the breast, and then break apart the leg from the thigh. So you want to cut through any sort of connective tissue there. Well, that was pretty easy. And so now this one, I'm going to cut through any kind of skin. So we want to cut this skin, the skin that holds those together right there. Just kind of break it back so that you can release the joint. Okay, all right. Now let's get to this guy. So now, knife should just slip right in there, cut through the skin, cut it, flip it, turn it. There's your drum mat. Okay, now we're going to carve the breast. So we want to find the center bone, as you want to use very deliberate and very precise movements. And I kind of feel down through there because you want to feel that center breastbone. What we want to do is fold that over like that, like that. Any of that cartilage out. There's a few more pieces of cartilage right there that we don't want. We from that breastbone, and then we want to slice it right down through there. And that should give us an entire breast. That looks like a really good Nashville Hot Turkey breast. We can actually slide our thumb down in between the keel bone and should handle pull it right off the bone. Anything left on the bottom, we want to go ahead and remove. Now we've got another very good Nashville Hot Turkey breast. Alright, since we're not eating this tonight, I'll show you the best way to actually break down the breast. So, we still have a little piece of cartilage right here. So if you feel that, you want to make sure that goes away. So you don't want anything hard for anyone to bite into, or even that you. So we still got a good amount of skin there. A little bit there, we got a little bit where it browned up at the top. And what we want to do is cut this across the grain. So the grain of the breast goes this way. So we want to cut it this way. So when we do that, left these little medallions of turkey breast. Absolutely fantastic. Now everything does break off the back side here, or that skin doesn't want to stay on. That's a part of doing turkeys. But what we want to do is show you how to break down the wings. Now we've already broke down the drumettes, and there is usually a little bit of extra fluff attached from another portion of the turkey on there. You can go ahead and put those away. Okay? But to break down the thigh and leg quarter, what we're going to want to do, you can see there is a good portion of skin right there. So we are going to want to cut right down between that. Okay? So we can find where the joint, thigh, and the drumstick meet. Now, if you're in an amusement park, you're good to go. Nashville Hot Turkey. Done. Go ahead and put that one away. Now, the thigh, we have a little bit different thing here. So once we spatchcock a turkey, occasionally we get a couple of extra bones that we don't need. And we also want to get all the stuff that was down here around the bottom end. So there's another bone right here that we don't necessarily care for. We want to cut some of this fatty skin off. And there's typically a few things right here on this side that meet up to the cavity that we'll just go ahead and chop off because they're not they're more like beef jerky than they are turkey. And so now what you're left with something is actually very great. This is the thigh. And so there's a very fatty portion right here. Usually I'll take a knife and just kind of scrape some of that. I'm going to cut the top off. It has a lot of veins and things of that nature in it. And we'll go ahead and get that off there. And then break this down to where we can get to that thigh bone. And hopefully you can cut it all you want to. You just kind of pull it out. Here, you see any of those kind of veiny structures in there. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of them at the same time. Sorry, I'm hungry. I've been smelling this stuff all day. So now we're left with a bunch of thigh meat. What is thigh meat good for? Well, a lot of people love thigh meat. Portions of this, as you get closer to the cavity, are a little bit tougher. But the main part of the thigh that we never get to put back together and wrapped up is It's really, really good. Now we got a little bit extra there. That's perfect for stuffing. To cut across the grain, just like we did with the breast. And now we have this delicious morsels of turkey. Alright, so we have officially created our spatchcocked Nashville Hot Turkey for Thanksgiving. And I'll tell you one thing, this is not as hot as you would ever expect it, but you can always make it hotter by adding more or adding one of our hot sauces. You can support us online at tuckerspeppers.com. You can always like or subscribe to our little channel that we're creating here of all things food and how to use some of our products, whether it is a seasoning blend, whether it's a hot sauce, barbecue sauce, or one of our barbecue rubs. We'll be doing a lot more coming up soon. This Thanksgiving, what we want you to do is simply drop below in the comments and tell us what you're most thankful for, or you can even tell us what your favorite Thanksgiving dish is. Remember, always be grateful, not hateful. We'll see you next time.